Well. One Piece Treasure Cruise has thrown a curveball at us. We have Dragon debuting as an anniversary exclusive for the 11th anniversary. We have Dragon, Ivankov, and Kuma alongside a regular Sugo Ginny as well, which is very left field, to be honest, but does make a lot of sense now why they left out anniversary exclusives on the latest Super Sugo banner. Tricky stuff. Now they're just going to make people summon on a Kazuna banner. Ugh. Bro, look, at least people can pick up Kazuna Legends, I suppose, but this was definitely left field. I was definitely not expecting this. Man, I'm so over summoning, dude. And like, look, I know it's rich saying that because I just don't have to summon, but anniversary exclusives, man, you know me, like I can't really pass this shit up. Like, oh dear. Okay, well, let's take a look at the character. We're gonna break down Dragon, Ivankov, and Kuma. I might do like a 60-second video, 3-minute video on Ginny, just because like it's a regular legend, and like with the amount of something I've been doing lately, like I'm just gonna get one copy and call it a day. Well, I hope anyway. So let's take a look at them. They have Super 10 and Boost, of course they do. They have a super special because they're an anniversary exclusive EX Cerebral Free Spirit Dex based character. No like dual unit at all. They're just like one of those fake trio units where they just put a whole bunch of characters' names in the character, so that way you can use different supports but also not use them on the team. So Kuma, Dragon, Ivankov obviously don't have a lot of support, so it's not going to be a huge problem, but look, down the line it might see a bit of an issue. They are SPT style of character over in PvP. 28-second cooldown with a 14-turn special on regular play with Limit Break expansion. And then they have Revolutionary Army, Paramecia type, and Egghead tag. Again, just hilarious that they just give every character from the Egghead arc the Egghead tag. And look, it does make a little bit of sense, I suppose. Dragon, Ivankov, and Kuma are anniversary only Super Sugo Fest exclusive characters. Says it right there. So no what ifs and whats and buts about what the character is and is not. So, key points. They have Super 10 and Boost for characters with Revolutionary Army and Egghead. The Captain ability, where 5 or more Revolutionary Army crew... It allows normal attacks to ignore enemies' defensive effects, but cancels all defensive effects on the crew as well. So, very similar to what Carrot does. Obviously, we're getting a 6+ to Sabo and Koala. So, Sabo Koala probably paired with this unit very, very nicely, being a Cerebral Free Spirit option 2. Special. Level 6, signaling the revolution, reduces all enemies' defense by 80% for 1 turn that ignores defensive effects and full immunity. Reduces the drastically reduced damage effect above certain level on all enemies by 7 turns. So basically the threshold debuff removes it by 7 turns. If 6 cerebral class characters are on the crew, swaps the middle left character with the captain for 1 turn and prevents captain swap. It's only 1 turn, so like... kind of annoying. Certain effects prevent swap captains. Yeah. Ignores immunity to status effects. Increases damage taken for enemies by 2.25 for 1 turn. Up to 2 boosts can be applied on this particular effect. So, I believe it says it swaps the middle left. So, like, you don't have a choice. Like, it's always going to swap that middle left character for you. And then gives you an increased damage taken that bypasses full immunity with 6 cerebral characters. So, 6 cerebrals, like cerebrals definitely need a lot of help, but look, Cerebral Free Spirit is now starting to get a pretty big rise. Obviously with Yamato, if you have 6 cerebrals, 6 free spirit characters, she gets a lot of extra buffs. Sabo Koala, as I mentioned, are getting a super evolution, so they're also a Cerebral Free Spirit character. This particular character is Cerebral Free Spirit, and then you've got like the Morley and Karasu Treasure Map Legend, who's also a Free Spirit Cerebral, who would work great as a Revolutionary Army character too. After that, applies increased damage taken for all enemies by 2 times for 1 turn. So if you don't have the 6 cerebrals, you still get increased damage taken for 2 times, but does not bypass full immunity. And then if 3 or more Revolutionary Army characters on the crew, allows the crew to stack up to 2 different types. Okay. They're a double stacking conditional booster. Sick. Okay. Now we're talking damage. Obviously, they apply increased damage taken. So if you bring someone that can also give the conditional to that, that's going to be really, really nice. And then you can just sort of bring something else. But the fact that they're not a self-proc conditional boost, from what I can see right now, the EX might change that, does raise a few eyebrows. 3 or more Revolutionary Army characters is pretty easy to do. Like I said, I just named, 3 of them. You got Sabo Koala and their 6+. You've got the Morley and Karasu Treasure Map Legend, and then you've got pretty much every single, every single rare recruit under the sun. Robin Koala is a really good option. They're also Cerebral Free Spirit, I believe. You've got hack characters, Koala, Treasure Map Koala. Like, the list goes on and on and on. You should have plenty of Revolutionary Army units to use under this particular character. Bit of a shame that, like, Kuma's in the name, and would be a bit interesting to see what Kumas are Revolutionary Army and what Kumas aren't. Captain ability. The Revolutionaries. At the start of the quest, get 1 turn of cooldown, boost cerebral characters class attack by 5.25 when slots match, 5 times otherwise. That's dog shit. HP by 1.25, but look, they're an anniversary exclusive. You're not going to run them as a captain unless they have some sort of crazy utility. Makes Dex int tandem slots have matching slot effects, and when the following effects are activated based on the crew's character tags, boost Revolutionary Army characters by 1.1. So what? That goes up to like a 5.7 times captain. If 5 or more Revolutionary Army characters are on the crew, allows normal attacks to ignore defensive effects. Okay, so that's their utility there. So if you are running them as a sub on the middle left, I believe it was, you could then have them swap into captain and then bypass the defensive effects for 1 turn if you guys needed it. Very similar to what Carrot's doing, just but like not in terms of like a 3-turn buff. I honestly really wish this was a 3-turn buff. Like if the captain swap was 3 turns, this would just be way better. But bypassing defensive effects, we've seen how good Psy Gear 5 Luffy is with his 6-star. Carrot's obviously used all the time. We know how good the Sulongs are as well. So very, very nice stuff. Crewmate ability makes characters type slots matching, and if you have a cerebral class territory or free spirit territory, boost crew's base attack by 200. Otherwise, boost the HP by 200. I don't know if that means you get both. If you have the territory, you get the 200 HP regardless, and then you get the 200 attack. That could be kind of fun. Super Tandem boost. When activating Super Tandem with Revolutionary Army, raises Egghead characters boost level by 4 and Revolutionary Army characters by 7. I kind of like that they have Super Tandem boost because like it just means that I'm not going to pull dupes. Like I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Not going to happen. The EX Super, when 3 or more characters are on the crew, except as double characters. Double characters count as 1 except for support characters. Does not say here that you can use it as a sub. However, if you run them on a cerebral team, obviously you can swap into the captain and then that's going to work out pretty nicely. 3 of the following characters: Sabo, Koala, Inazuma, Morley, Carousel, Limburg, Bella, Betty, Ginny, Hack, Nico, Robin, Monkey D, Luffy. So you could easily do some fun stuff, obviously, with like New Year's Sabo would be great. The new 6+ Sabo Koala that's going to be coming out. You've got Sabo and Bonnie. You're going to have the Morley Carousel Treasure Map unit. You have the Treasure Map Rare Recruits in that regard. Inazuma doesn't have too much representation. Bella Betty's got some. Obviously, the new Ginny is going to work great here. And obviously, Robins and Luffy's are going to be the big ones as well. Dex into Super Dex, Cerebral into Super Cerebral. You can completely remove Captain Swap. So obviously, you swap in, you swap out. And then adds 100 times characters attack in, tap time bonuses for 5 turns, boost damage to defense down enemies by 2.25. Why the fuck is it defense down? Why is it defense down? They apply increased damage taken. Why is it not increased damage taken? I pray that that's a typo. I don't think it is, but like I pray that that's a typo. The 5 turns of tap timing bonus, I believe, is going to work great with Sabo, New Year's Sabo, to get all of his effectiveness off. He's a fighter cerebral, so he's going to give the class advantageous typing effect. Obviously, he's Revolutionary Army, and I believe he's the one that needs the 5 turns of the tap time bonus. So this is really, really good if you're running, say, Sabo as a captain. You can swap this character in, then use their EX to either swap out, or I mean, you don't even really need to swap them. Oh yeah, swap them in, use the EX, get that effect, and then use Sabo to just sort of go absolutely ballistic with his class affinity and his tap timing buff. Support effect goes on Dex Revolutionary Army characters once per quest. When a character activates a special, drastically reduce damage effect by 1, so threshold by 1, and increases damage taken on all enemies by 1.3. So this is great when there's no full immunity. And Dex Revolutionary Army characters, you're probably only looking at characters like Halloween Koala, Morley and Karasu, maybe the Sabo and Bonnie, Kazuna Legend, something like that. Over in Rumble, this is where shit's going to get spicy. 28-second cooldown. The Rumble special targets is a large range horizontal for 1.5 times damage. When 8 or more cerebral or free spirit characters are on the team, targets teammates, not including self, for a 20% reduction, and all enemies for 20% delay. And then Revolutionary Army characters get a 100% chance of haste. Okay. Morley Carousel are great on free spirit. Sabo's great on cerebral, so you could use this in 2 different ways. That's interesting. A 20% delay on top of a 20% reduction is really, really good. Okay, it's not on themselves, but obviously like 28 seconds, you're going to get this off more often than not. As for their Rumble special, at level 5, you need to take 2 Rumble specials, targets all enemies for 3 times damage, targets teammates, not including yourself, for a 40% reduction, and all enemies for a 40%, oh, Jesus Christ. And then targets all enemies, targets all team for 100%. Oh my God. That super special at level limit break 5 is actually insane. Now, I'm assuming that at level limit break 1, which 99.9% of players will have, it will be an attack at maybe 2.5 times. It'll be a teammate cooldown reduction at 30%, enemies at a 30% delay, and then targets maybe it just stays Revolutionary Army, or it might go like Revolutionary Army, Free Spirit, and Cerebral characters. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like, but for now, that's kind of... Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like. Their ability targets Cerebral and Free Spirit teammates for level 6 attack, HP, and speed. If 8 or more Cerebral Free Spirit characters are on the team, all enemies get defense down level 6. GP Burst does not matter. So, very, very interesting character. I'm actually super keen to use them in Rumble. They do seem incredibly nice there. Obviously, Super Tandem Boost is only going to work with Super Tandem from Revolutionary Army characters, which I honestly can't even think of any besides New Year's Sabo. Like, that's the only Super Tandem Revolutionary Army character I can think of. But let me know in the comment section below what that's going to look like. I have no idea why the EX gives boost damage dealt to defense down enemies, and then they apply increased damage taken. It would have just made more sense to give the increased damage taken conditional buff, but I suppose that means you can then use something like the New Year's Luffy on the team and still get a little bit more value out of him, and then sort of find a way to set defense to 0 some other way. But that is Dragon, the new Kizuna anniversary-based legend. So it's an anniversary exclusive, but the banner will be a Kizuna-based banner, because the banner we have right now, it's the treasure map banner. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys are summoning for this guy. I know Dragon's been highly anticipated from a lot of people, so let me know down below if you guys are summoning. Way down there, belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.